We are glad that you could join us on this other edition of the Verdict program. This is a governance program that is dedicated towards those in the electoral process as well as those aspiring to be leaders in the next government. Our topic of discussion today is youth participation in elections, and to help us discuss the program, we have none other than Mr. NYIRENDA from the Operation Young Vote. He is the executive director, and he has been in the civil society for quite some time now. And we are hoping that we are going to have a fruitful discussion so that you, our listeners, can also make a verdict on a number of issues that we are going to bring out on the program. Welcome to the program, Mr. NYIRENDA.
It's my pleasure to be here, Comrade Soko. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's my very first time to feature in your studios here at CAMNET. And I think, like you said, I will do due diligence to ensure that at least our viewers out there and the listeners can also be able to, find this fruitful and be able to find their, their space in what we are going to discuss.
Just to set the ball rolling, we would like to find out what is the mandate of OYV, especially as far as governance is concerned.
Well, thank you so much. Operation Young Vote, connoted in short or abbreviated as OYV, is basically a young people's platform in governance, participation of young people in leadership, in decision making, in governance generally, in development, but also in the electoral process. Operation Young Vote was born on the 11th of August, the year 2000. This year on 11th August, a day before the elections, Operation Young Vote will be 21 years old. We have weathered the storm, and also the organization and the young people that are part of this organization, and those that have passed through OIV, I think will attest to what kind of a platform Operation Young Vote offers to young people out there.
Now, the issue of elections is something that OIV has been known for in terms of advocacy and various issues. What role are you going to be playing, especially in as far as the August 12th election is concerned, in the build-up to the polls?
Excellent. You must also maybe be made aware that Operation Young Vote was initially born as a campaign. It was a campaign to facilitate the effective or efficacy engagement and participation of young people in the electoral process. Around the year 1999, things were brewing out there or down there, because at that time we felt that the young people's rights were infringed upon. Young people were thrown to the wind, and their participation was not appreciated, or they were not brought to the fore to engage. In the year 2000, on 11th August, we actually registered this campaign, if you like, of engaging and ensuring that young people participated in the electoral process. Now, coming to the question, what do we do or what role are we going to be playing in the run-up to the 2021 12th August polls? Just like we have been doing since the year 2000, we have been engaging young people, first of all, to ensure that they understand their civic duties, because it's one thing, to register as a voter. It's one thing to do whatever you can do, but if you do not understand the importance or significance of the civic duties that you are supposed to engage as a citizen, and beginning with the young people, then it means that you will be at a loss as a generation. So Operation Young Vote currently is ensuring that young people acquire NRCs, but also register as voters. We ensure that we campaign full throttle for the young people to find themselves on the new voters roll. As you are aware, the Electoral Commission of Zambia discarded the old voters register and completely brought a complete new one. And we made sure that young people were not left out. They got their NRCs and they queued up to register as voters in that short period of 30 plus a few days the extension was given. But also, apart from just registering as voters, now we are telling young people, look, this voters card that you have, it is not for sale. It is actually your right. And you must ensure that this is your voice. As it is your voice, keep it safe so that come 12th August, you are able to use it to vote for leadership. And voting for leadership wisely. Of course, looking at the things that are happening, what we have been taken through by the current regime, but also what the others are promising and what people are bringing to the fore, you must be able to make a judgment as a young person and say, this is how I want to move my future into. So that is what we are doing, and we will ensure that young people turn up in huge numbers to ensure that they vote, but they vote wisely. But also, we are not ending just at voting. We are also encouraging young people to offer themselves for leadership in their respective political parties, but also even as independent candidates.
Well, our dear listeners, if you are just joining us, you are watching the Verdict program, and our topic of discussion is youth participation in governance. And our guest is Mr. NYIRENDA, the Executive Director for Operation Young Vote. Going on, we just want to also find out, with your vast experience, what should be the role of young people, especially in as far as governance is concerned?
Well, I think the starting point is that young people, just like any other citizen, must be made to appreciate that as a citizen they have a stake in the country. They have a stake at their community level. They have a stake at whatever level in the country. And that we must all realize that the resources that Zambia is endowed with, the copper, the gold, the mukula, the wildlife, everything that Zambia has belongs to all of us. They do not belong to a few people. They belong to each and every one of us. And then, because we cannot all be in leadership, we elect people that are, given a responsibility to administer those resources on our behalf, for our benefit as Zambians. And that is the beginning point. If people do not appreciate that, whether young or old, they would not really think that it's important for them to engage in governance or in elections or in politics. This is where you find people begin to say, look, politics is for politicians. But they're the first people to complain when they go to buy a tablet of soap. Today they find it at 11 kwacha. Tomorrow they find it at 13 kwacha. They complain. So all that is about politics and administration of resources that we have as a people. So we must all take interest. And that is where we begin from in ensuring that we engage young people to understand that basic. If they understood that the resources that Zambia has is theirs also, and they must ensure that the resources are properly administered, the resources are transparently administered, and everything that we do as a country is done according to the laid down procedures and laws that we have. And if not, then we must stand up and say, no, wait a minute, this is not going according to what we have put for ourselves as a country. So it is at that basic level that young people must begin to engage and participate in the governance of the country. At local level, Operation Young Vote is structured in such a way that we have chapters at every level. If you go to communities, we have Operation Young Vote chapters, where you just have about 25 young people together in a community. They begin to engage on matters that affect them within their community. Is it the garbage collection? Is it the provision of services? Is it the health services, the other social services like education and so on? And young people must at that local level begin to question and say, why don't we have this? Because if the government gave a budget of this much for education, why is it not coming to this particular school? So if young people begin to question things at their local level, then you will find that even at the higher level, things become easier to engage in. And transparency and accountability is actually entrenched from that lower level. It becomes a norm and, you know, a value going forward. But because young people for a very long time have been left out, and sometimes they have just given up, then you find that things you know, continue to go wrong, and even where to stop them becomes an issue.
Now, getting into the nitty-gritties of political issues, we saw various political parties warding their intra-party elections, and also where they were electing their governing councils. Others would call them NMC, others MMC, just like that. But the bone of contention is that how have you assessed in terms of the incorporation of young people in these governance structures, especially at political party level?
Well, comrade, unfortunately, my heart, and I'm sure hearts of many other Zambians out there, continue to bleed. Because what we began to fight as early as 1999 when we were forming Operation Young Vote is still coming to the surface, okay? We see young people not given space, okay? For example, if you look at the Constitution, the Republican Constitution, it gives the Republican president power to appoint young people, of the people that he has, privilege to appoint in different sectors of governance. But you see that in many instances, young people are not appointed. We must appreciate, of course, that in this particular regime, we saw, young people appointed, a young person in the name of Zumani, Chris, who is the political advisor to the president. That's a key position. But we expected more, and we expect that those young people that are given a privilege, like Chris Zumani Zimba, should not begin to fight the fight for elders. They must begin continue to fight that fight of young people, bringing as many young people as possible to the fore, and not the other way. But what we are seeing is otherwise. Then coming to your specific question of the NMC, MCC, and so on and so forth, it is quite sad that we have not seen, especially in the ruling Patriotic Front. The PF is the leading political party. They are the ones who are in the driving seat. Exactly. And they must lead by example at all levels, at all costs. Unfortunately, we are seeing that the party in power has continued on the trajectory of having young people participate under a tokenism kind of arrangement, under a decoration where young people are just brought as decoration, where young people are relegated to the youth wing. Those are odd politics. Yes, while we appreciate that the youth wing must be there, we expect that many more young people will find their way into the main body. Exactly. Because of, when you have young people, you will have things move. You will have development move in a sustainable manner, but also in a manner where things are understood better, because it is the young people that have the education. It is the young people that have the technical know-how. Today we are talking of the digital space and all those things. It is the young people that have the hands-on these things. But also it is the young people that are exposed. Exactly. So if you brought young people on board, it means that you are not only ensuring that the right things are done within your programs, but you are also ensuring that the aspect, which is quite important, the aspect of sustainability is actually entrenched, because without the young people, you cannot talk of sustainability. So we see that young people have not been given a chance. Look at the the MCC, the Central Committee. I mean, it's a sad sight. We expected many more young people, and we are not saying, look, young people should be gotten from elsewhere. The Patriotic Front has young people that are able. Okay, we can't afford as a country to propel young people at the cadarism, stone throwing level. We can't afford, and as a ruling party, they must take lead and ensure that young people are given the proper space and platform where they are going to engage on issues, so that as many other young people are brought. Are attracted, to running affairs of the country in that manner. The UPND also, well, not so much, but I think they tried. We saw young people, a number of young people brought into their NMC, the appointment by the president of the party. I think there's some level of movement that one can appreciate, but it's not much again, because we need young people to be there. Now, when we talk of young people, we are not only saying male young persons. No, we are saying young people, including the female young. Exactly. So when you bring these in that fashion, you will realize that even the issues of the technical issues, the matters to do with sustainability, matters to do with understanding all these things that you are talking about, even issues of manifestos that political parties are issuing now. Young people would even understand them better and be able to, ensure that they zero them down to the understanding of the other fellow young people on the ground. So for us, we are still concerned that the participation of young people, of course, blocked by those that wield resources and power, has continued to lag behind. We say so because this is what we are seeing. Our leaders are very quick at using young people to defend them. They are quick to use young people to throw stones, to fight each other, and so on and so forth. We want this whole ball game to change. These young people must be fronted as the torch bearers of issues. They have manifestos. Let these young people go out there and share their manifestos.
Just on that issue, Comrade, we just want to get your perspective regarding, at this time around, various political parties are actually holding adoptions. We have seen the ruling PF actually release the adoption. It should be for Northwestern. But as the various political parties are conducting the adoption process, how important is that they also consider these young people in these, to vie for various positions, be it councillors, council chairpersons, mayors, or members of parliament?
Well, it's something that we cannot overemphasize. It's inevitable. We need the participation, or we need the engagement of young people, whether we like it or not. We need to bring young people on board. Unfortunately, like I said, look, these politicians and political parties are looking at people that have money. Of course, young people do not have money to buy a place for themselves in a political party or an adoption and so on and so forth. But these are young people that can offer the needed leadership of the 21st century. Look, we are not talking of yes, we know that our parents must be respected for what they have done. They fought for independence. Yes, kudos to them. Well done. But they must take a back seat and begin to push the young people and guide them and advise them. But where you find the whole parent who has been a leader in parliament, I mean in a constituency for years, and because they find it fit now that for them to go back to parliament, they have to jump on this political party. That is uncalled for. And political parties must not encourage that. Okay? Such people cannot be trusted. And don't think that because today they are smiling at you and because they have seen an opportunity for them to continue to be in parliament. So they will smile at you. The moment things change, they will be the first ones to insult you. So what we are saying as Operation Young Vote is that all these political parties, they have young people who have labored for these political parties. Even the numbers of votes that they get, whether to retain power or to get into power, is because of the numbers of the young people. So young people must be respected at all levels and given an opportunity so that they are able to be in front and be forerunners of these political parties. But the trend that we are seeing, where we are even parting these old politicians, finished for that matter. I'm not going to apologize for that. Finished. They have run their race. They must rest. But they want to continue. Oh, I'm leaving this party because that party is not good. Oh, because it sent you to parliament last time, it was a good party. Now, because you have seen that the only way I can maintain is on this other platform, then you begin to insult. We cannot continue with that kind of politics. And believe it, such people cannot offer a service.
Just on the same issue, we have also seen some members of parliament, particularly in the opposition UPND, who are actually facing stiff competition. Equally from others, are young people who are challenging them, but people are asking for a change of leaders. Just your word on that.
You know, competition is very healthy, and it must be allowed. And where there is competition, people must not use underhand methods to block others, to stop others, to intimidate others, and so on, especially the young people that do not have money. We know that most of these adoptions are, shrouded in corruption. Okay, people are paying their way through to get adopted and to be leaders. Now, look. You cannot buy leadership. You can't. And that's what we need to begin to appreciate as a country. You can't buy leadership. If you are not a leader, even if you buy your way through and you become a member of parliament, this is why we have seen people go to parliament and just go and sit, go and just make noise here, here, here. Look at the laws that they are passing. Even they themselves do not understand what is contained in those laws, but they are quick to pass them. When they go on the other side, they are the ones that are saying, no, this is a bad law. But hell, you were in parliament and you were the ones passing these laws. Look at how people demonized the constitution that they passed. And remember, they passed it when some of them were even sleeping, midnight, but it passed, and because of them it passed. We have so many other laws today that have passed and are law. The cyber security and cyber crimes law, it's a law that has a lot of dangers to the participation of people. It is clearly ensuring that the space for engagement is closed up. And these people, because they belong where they think they are free and they can do anything, they say it's okay. But when they get to the other side, they'll be the first ones to complain. So for us, competition is important. Allow the young people. And young people must take advantage of this. Look, you have the numbers. Don't be intimidated. And moreover, remember what I said at the beginning, the basic is that you must first of all appreciate that this is your country. What belongs to this country belongs to you. So all the monies, the resources belong to all of us. Those who are put in leadership are just meant to administer those resources equally or equitably to sections of our society. And as young people, as long as we do not understand that and appreciate it, wherever we go, we'll be stuck and will not engage freely. But if we appreciate that and accept that, look, this is my country. The only difference with the president or the leader of a political party is that they are just in that position and I'm not there. So as long as we are all citizens, we must enjoy equally. We can't afford this unfair trend of the way things are happening, where people are sleeping on money, they are throwing monies on mattresses, and meanwhile the rest of the Zambians are hating. It's unacceptable. So young people must front themselves and use their numbers. The comparative advantage they have is that they have numbers. They may not have the resources, they have the numbers, and they must make these politicians with the resources which some of them were dubiously obtained tumble with their resources and make have them go packing so that they are retired from politics.
That brings me to the other important issue of empowerment. During election times, it has been a trend. You people who have been here long enough would understand that there are all sorts of youth empowerment programs that would come. But is it a sustainable way of actually delivering youth empowerment? They are actually not. They are fake. They are not. That is not empowerment. That is to hoodwink people to think that something good is happening. Look. Empowerment must be anchored in a system. Empowerment must be anchored in a structure. The head of state has come out on many platforms lamenting that people have failed to return back or to pay back the monies that they were given for empowerment, which money was meant to be revolving funds, which was meant to assist and help many other people. But that is not happening because of these very schemes of wanting to hoodwink people. You just come and say, okay, there's this money, and you begin to give it out. But meanwhile, you know that that money must be accounted for. And the only way to account for that money is that it must be paid back so that others must benefit. But that has not happened. And because of being schemes to want to be seen to be doing what is right, we end up wasting monies. We end up throwing money in a bottomless pit. And this has been our experience as Zambians. Look, this is not the first time this kind of empowerment is happening. It happened in the MMD time. We saw a lot of programs flooding the market because people wanted the citizens to think that they are doing what was right. Now, what is right must be done through a system. What is right must be done through a structure. We have structures. We have the Ministry of Youth. We have the National Youth Development Council. We have all these structures that can help the youth. Moreover, ask who are benefiting from this empowerment. It is those who are praise singers. If you're not a praise singer for the party in power, like myself, forget it, you will never get the empowerment. Just toil around and hustle around and get your living going. That's what it means. But if we had a system that, look, we identify that we have these young people that can help in this sector. Because what it means to empower is that, look, after some time, those people must graduate. And as they graduate into living dignified lives, the others take over who are coming behind, and they also go the same route. But that is not happening, and it cannot be called empowerment. It is just to tell people that, okay, now it's... And this is why people are just getting it and eating it. And this is why people, some of them from the ruling party, they will even tell you that we can't pay, it's our benefit also. We supported them to be in power. They are not giving us anything. So this is the only benefit we have. And they are not paying. And this is a problem. And you cannot call that empowerment. So you mean they take it as gratification?
Of course, it is. And this is why for us it is fake. And anything fake is not sustainable. Anything fake, look, if you buy a Chinese, those fake T-shirts for the Chinese, you wash it, it is longer on the other side and it is shorter on the other, because it's fake. Okay, and this is exactly what this empowerment we are seeing around, where people, you can't have empowerment where the Home Minister carries the money in a market and say, we have brought, come on. We must be jokers, we must be joking. Because if it is important, there must be a system, or you get your money through, is it through the bank, or through a normal system? You can't, for heaven's sake. Where is the money laundering issues and laws around here, where the Home Minister carries money like this and cameras and say, we have come to empower you? I say to myself, oh my God, can this country change? And we can only change if we do what is right. I am not saying that everyone in the PF is wrong. We have people who think in the PF. We have people who strategize. We have people who can do that. And can those people that can do the right thing for once for Zambia? This empowerment that we are seeing is, I'll give you an example. In 2010, I was privileged to be appointed by the MMD then to sit on the National Youth Development Council. Okay? The minister then, I will not mention their name, the minister then refused to sign my letter of appointment. He said because I was too tough on the government, because everything that the PF said then, because the PF was in the opposition then, everything that the PF said resonated with what I said, or whatever I said resonated with what the PF said. It's like what I said, the PF agreed because they were singing what people wanted to hear.
Exactly.
And he said, I cannot sign your letter because of that. I told him, Minister, keep your letter. I don't eat that. My life will not change because I've gone on NYDC. I want to go on. You have thought of me or identified me to go on NYDC to offer a service, to help the country. But if you have thought otherwise that I will be a problem, it's okay, leave it. When we went to South Africa for the Global Youth and Students Festival, where we had about 240 young people from Zambia participate there, with my leadership and others, of course, from different political parties, students, and all those. When we came back, that's when the minister said, okay, because I've been convinced that you are doing things genuinely and objectively, it's okay now, you can go. That's how I was given the appointment letter. A few months later, that was in 2010, a few months later in 2011, the PF won. MMD lost power. The same MMD that lost power, they invited me, this time as a consultant, to go and address them on why they had lost the youth vote. And I went and told them in their faces, you lost because you thought that the MMD youth were the only youth in this country. You gave empowerment to those because of patronage, those that sang praises to you, those that beat others who were telling you the truth. Those are the ones that you gave empowerment. Today, you are inviting the same me, you refused to sign my letter to appoint me on that committee. And today you are inviting me to pay me as a consultant. But I used to give you free advice when I was on radio, when I was on TV. And this is exactly what we are seeing even today. History repeating itself. Can we have the PF as a government? We have the Minister and Ministry of Youth. For heaven's sake, what is the Minister of Youth doing if they don't understand youth empowerment? What are they there for? We have a lot of youth in the PF, very good, brilliant, who can change that ministry to run properly and ensure that all the young people of this country are empowered, properly empowered. But we can't see them because they have been suppressed because of these that wield power and money. But they must remember that whatever they have will not be forever. One day it will come down, and they will need us.
Exactly. Well, our dear listeners, thank you for staying with us on The Verdict. Today we are discussing youth participation, and my guest is Mr. NYIRENDA, the OYV Executive Director. Well, we've tackled a number of issues Well, another issue of concern that has been topical of late is the issue of political violence, which usually surfaces during this election period. We just want to get your perspective regarding what is a lasting solution to this vice.
Well, I mean, solutions could be, from various angles, and people say multi-pronged. Okay, it cannot just be one solution. But among them would be, giving the young people what to do. Okay, today people are involved and engaged in violence because they don't have what to do. And these people are picked from the street. If you go to Cairo Road today, just now, if you go to Freedom Way, you go to Chachacha, you go to Lumumba, you will find a lot of young people there without anything to do. And anyone who goes there with something and say, okay guys, can you go and fight that one? I will give you this. They will go. They will quickly welcome that, because they will earn a living at the end of the day. Okay? The destitution, the poverty that is around is what is causing all this violence. Yes, I know that others will argue, no, but they can still find, no. The bottom line is that, yes, we may resolve symptoms, but symptoms are not the best. We need to resolve the root cause. What is the problem? The fundamental problem is that young people are jobless. The fundamental problem is that young people, have been left to be destitute. Young people are impoverished. Look at people walking the street. They have done toiled around the streets, and there's nothing that is coming their way because the economy is not favorable.
But what would you say about those organized structures like in markets and bus stations?
Which ones?
Where you would find these people who claim to belong to this political party A, political party B, and they would be harassing marketeers. And when it is time for elections, they are the same people who are being used as security wings for the party.
This is exactly what I am saying. It's the same thing, same principle. They don't have what to do. I will tell you, this country has a crop of young people who today are in offices. Some of them are working in offices. Some of them are running their own businesses, even when it's hard. They are, sweating. And because they are busy, their minds are being applied to doing what is constructive. You will not find them there doing the violence. The other example is the same children of these politicians. Have you ever seen them on the street fighting? No, because their parents have given them something constructive to do. It's either they have taken them outside Zambia to learn in another university abroad, or they have given them a job somewhere. Because they are busy doing something constructive. You will not find them on the street fighting and committing the violence that we are talking about. The ones that are used for violence are the ones in the markets. Go at city market. If you very few people have something to do there. A lot of them are in the market and have nothing to do. And because the state of affairs is that they have been left to be destitute. They have been impoverished. It is now that you are thinking about them that, okay, let's give, where were you, why haven't you been giving them money every year so that their lives are sustained and their businesses can run with that capital? But you are thinking of them at the 11th hour when the elections are on the horizon. And the only thing they know is that, okay, let's benefit in this. And when somebody hires them for a token, I mean, they would do it. But if they were busy doing other constructive things, we would be talking about something else. However, we need, apart from just those constructive things, we need also to strategize and work together. There's no one person that has a solution to this. I know others, these, especially the two political parties.
The Markets and Bus Stations Act.
Of course, but our laws are not respected in this country. That's the unfortunate part. And look, moreover, in fact, you have reminded me of a very, very important thing that can be done to stop all this violence. And I'll take you back just a few years, where late Mwanawasa, you know, issues of cadarism. I know Mwanawasa was not a perfect human being. He was just as human as all of us with our own shortcomings. But on the aspect of violence and cadres, he stopped that. And it takes the head of state that is concerned about the lives of the people that he leads to stop this. If our head of state today just says, no violence, we see you are in trouble, this will stop. But we see, look, how do you explain, for heaven's sake, somebody from nowhere going into a government office and pulls out a government employee who is working on behalf of the president, because that person, the papers they sign, it's on behalf of the president to the people of Zambia, through the appointing authorities, the PS and everyone. How does somebody, for heaven's sake, walk into an office and grabs this person and says, because I think you are opposition, so you will not work here, we will ban you? How does that happen, for heaven's sake? It can't. In a country where our laws are respected, that cannot happen. You cannot have somebody go at the biggest police station in the country and fight the police and get away with it. You can't, for heaven's sake. We are setting a precedence. You can't. Because then the other person will do it there, and it will go on like that. But if the head of state could take a leaf from what Mwanawasa did, violence came to an end. It stopped, and it can stop. I have faith. I know President Edgar Lungu. He's a no-nonsense person. He can stop this. And for heaven's sake, we appeal to him. Stop it. You are the one that has the mantle. You know, you don't compare yourself to HH. Don't compare yourself to Nason Musoni. Don't compare yourself to you know, other political party leaders. No, there's a difference. This is why it is you who signs a bill to assent to it to become law. That is the difference our president must appreciate. He shouldn't say, because I have said no violence, even HH should say no violence. No, for heaven's sake, I refuse. Mwanawasa did it, and there was no violence. He can do it and say, no violence. And especially if he did it with the members of the Patriotic Front, who are doing it with impunity, you will see that this country will be very peaceful, and the tranquility that we have dreamt about, beyond what we fought for, will come to this country. It will be heaven on earth.
Well, our listeners, we thank you that you are still with us whenever you are watching us from, be it on television, our Facebook page, YouTube, and wherever you can. We are discussing youth participation in elections, and we are hosting Mr. NYIRENDA, who is the OYV Executive Director. Just now, we take a break.
They were not there when God created you. The Bible sinners. Working, waiting, this what you've been praying for.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses. With only a few months remaining down to the ballot, the battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnetvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camne TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camne TV is not just another channel.
Welcome back. We are glad that you are still following the program wherever you may be. And just to remind you of what we are talking about, we are talking about youth participation in elections, and we are hosting guest NYIRENDA, who is the OYV Executive Director. OYV is the Operation Young Vote. They are among critical stakeholders in the electoral process, especially in as far as internal elections are concerned. They have also represented the country on various international platforms in terms of monitoring elections. And just to continue with where we stopped from, we'll proceed with this other aspect, Mr. NYIRENDA. Do you think young people understand the manifestos of these political parties, or or people just vote based on political inclination, or how is the need to ensure that they understand this party manifesto and also hold the leaders accountable?
Well, it's a brilliant question that you have asked, comrade. And in all honesty, I'll answer the question in twofold. I think on one hand, unfortunately, no. Most people, not only young people, but most citizens, they do not understand what these political parties and players offer in terms of their manifestos and policies, and they just vote, based on, because I like that one, or because I do not want that one to come in power, and so on and so forth, which is quite dangerous, because indeed we need to understand the manifestos of these political parties, because it is these manifestos at the end of the day that political parties that form government use in terms of the policies and even the laws that we tend to have. You know that when the PF came into power, there was that aspect of aligning the is it the 7th National Development Plan, or the development plans, then the 6th National Development Plan, which was then changed to say the revised 6th National Development Plan, aligned them to their manifestos, which is good, because they are the party in power and they want to do things the way they think is correct. But citizens must understand the political party manifestos. But on the other hand, like I said, yes, there are those that understand and are able to query. Unfortunately, those are few. It's very few people take time to read, but also political parties have not done so much to sell these manifestos or to make people understand what is contained in their manifestos, but also sometimes we find that political parties, even when they form government, they don't follow their manifestos, and this we have examples. Remember that one of the things that the PF was campaigning and contained in their manifesto in 2011 was the issue of changing the Public Order Act.
Exactly.
Today, 10 years into office, nothing has changed. There have been, moves, pushed by different stakeholders and players in the dispensation, but those have hit a snag. We have ended just at producing, draft bills and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, we also have the aspect of the access to information contained in their manifesto. Then today they were, issuing another new manifesto for 2021 into 2026. Those things are still hanging up to now. We have the issue of the NGO Act that was passed in the MMD regime in 2009, and during the campaigns in 2011, it was, if you look at their manifesto, one of the governance issues in the then manifesto for the PF, it still remains their manifesto after all, because it is theirs. It was that they will change, they will ensure that they repeal and replace the NGO Act. Yes, of course, there's something that is happening, and we are happy about that, but it has taken long. It has been too slow, because I think the will has not been so much. So if political parties are going to bring these beautiful manifestos, they must be able, first of all, to make citizens understand what they are saying in terms of whatever sector, but also they must be able to have the will and the ability to implement them when they form government. So yes, it is incumbent on the citizens, the young people, to understand and know, but I think it is also the duty and responsibility of political parties to ensure that their manifestos are well understood, so that at the end of the day, people are able to compare that the issues that the Party A is bringing on the table, and Party B and Party C and Party D are these, and this is how we are going to move. I want also, maybe not to sound out of context, I want to appreciate some political parties, what they have done, because I think I've just been relating to the two political parties, the PF and the UPND. But if you look at what the Socialist Party has done,
exactly.
Wow, it's a piece of cake. It is something that is really appreciated. Exactly. It is very appreciable, because they have ensured that they have given space to the young people. Now, going into the future, whether people like it or not, whether people like Fred Membe or not, they must watch the space. Because like I said earlier, when you empower the young people, when young people understand an ideology and they are able to front it and move it, they are unstoppable. Unlike using young people to fight and they throw stones. So the Socialist Party has done tremendously well, and we must commend them on how they have, strategized on working with and engaging the young people. We also have the Alliance for People's Alliance for Change, that is, PAC. They are also doing extremely well with regards to engaging young people, and I know many other political parties are doing so, which is very good. But those that are not doing fine, please don't take it as, he doesn't like us. No, we are telling you that you do the right thing, so that you can copy from those that are doing what is right, to ensure that as a country, together as one, as we sing in our national anthem, as one, we can build a Zambia that we are all going to be proud of and say, this is my country and this is where I belong.
Well, as we wind up our program, we just want to actually get your last words to the young people, Mr. NYIRENDA.
Okay. My final words to you young people on this particular platform are in this form. Remember that your vote is your voice, and your voice is your victory. You will not have a voice, because look, our voices, very few of us can be able to talk like this, because all of us are threatened, all of us are intimidated, all of us, there's just that kind of atmosphere that is being created. People are arrested arbitrarily and without any cause, and there's all this intimidation. But then remember, as young people, that your vote is your voice. A few months ago, young people were told by the minister of Lusaka province that they were too naked to advise the head of state. Young people were told they couldn't protest because they were too naked to advise the head of state. Young people, you can advise the head of state through the ballot. If you are stopped from talking, if you are stopped from protesting, if you are stopped from expressing yourself, the one way that no one can stop you, and you should not allow to be stopped, is in the ballot. That voter's card that you have, keep it very safe. Protect it. Don't sell it to anyone. Or vivute bwanji njala ya vuta. Do not give it away. That is your life. Keep it very safe, together with your NRC. Come the 12th of August this year, please stand up, go out in numbers, of course with your masks on and ensuring that all these COVID protocols are followed, if we still have this problem even then, so that you vote in numbers. Now you must go and vote wisely. I'm not telling you go and vote for this one or that one. Go and vote wisely. The most important thing is that you must appreciate that that vote is your voice. And by voting, you will be saying, this is the way I want my governance in this country to be. Or this is the way. Whatever choice you make in the booth is yours. But keep your voter's card safe. Keep your NRC safe. Those of you who have not yet verified your details, you must do so. Of course, the physical exercise ended, which was the most important, because in the physical you were able to check and see your face. But you can still do it online and you will not see your face. So online, please, any phone, you can just dial *214#. And then your details will start flashing and you'll be able to say, yes, my details are correct. Do it now. Be interested in the governance of your country. Be interested in the politics that are going on. It is said, one wise man once said, if the good ones shun the politics or the political platform, the bad ones will take over and they will run with you and ensure that they make you suffer. So let the good people of this country, the young people, stand up en masse. Offer yourselves as candidates for councillor or the council chairperson, MP, president. Please, those opportunities are there. If they cannot adopt you in a political party, go as independent. Go to your fellow young people. Sell yourself. Tell them, I do not have money to bribe you, and I'm not interested in bribing anyone. But I have leadership to offer you. And people will realize, here is a leader who can move us from one point to the other. The time to make a decision is now. Don't allow anyone to intimidate you. No, this is your country, just like it is their country, whether they are in the opposition or in the ruling party. It is our country, all of us. So young people, don't allow to be intimidated. Stand up for your right. This is your country. A time has presented itself, 2021. Make a decision. Never complain anymore. This decision that you are making now is what is going to emancipate you, is what is going to free you, free your families, and free the generations that are coming after you. Never be intimidated. That is my message to the young people. Keep safely your voter's card and ensure that you talk to each other so that these things that we are seeing to be not good can be changed and changed for the better.
Well, Mr. NYIRENDA, we would like to thank you for finding time to interact with us and our viewers and listeners.
My pleasure, and I hope you invite me again.
Well, our dear listeners, we have come to the end of the program. We've been talking about youth participation in elections, and our guest has been Mr. NYIRENDA from the Operation Young Vote, OYV in abbreviation. Till next time, this has been Patrick Soko. Stay tuned to Camlet TV.